Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, I'm going to be showing you the strategy that I used to turn $95 into $461. It's a simple but effective strategy, and I'm also going to be breaking down different currency pair that I traded and currency pair that I am currently going to trade: the US oil, the British pounds, the USDCHF, and the Bitcoin market. I drop all this signal on my Telegram channel. So if you want to be part of the community, click the link on this video right now. The link is at the description of this video. And don't forget, guys, to like and subscribe. The first currency pair that I have here is USD. It's US30. If you want to get the overall trend of this market, go watch my previous video. You might see the video at the link on your screen. Just go and watch this video if you want to know my yearly prediction for the US30 and SP500. I've already did a full analysis breakdown on that currency pair. You can go check it out on my YouTube channel. All right, so let me show you how I was able to find entry on this daily US frame. On a daily time frame. All right. So, the overall trend of this market is bullish. I've already break down the trend in my previous video. All right, so you can go check it out. So you have for education purpose, you can go check it out. I did a full yearly prediction on this US30. Okay, remove this. This first of all. Oh shit, man. Zoom out. Let's see. Let me zoom in. Click on this trend line and connect these 2 points, right? I've already did a full yearly prediction on this. So I told you guys I'm going to be looking for an entry. I'm going to be looking for a buy trade. So I was able to find a buy trade at this confluence area. Let's connect this previous side. It's Fibonacci retracement level. So I was able to find an entry on this US30 trade at this confluence zone. All right, at this confluence zone. A confluence zone is simply an area where multiple points meet with each other. All right, it's an area where Fibonacci meets with with a trend line, or an area where support meets with Fibonacci retracement. It's an area that is telling you there are many traders looking to buy or sell from that area. That is the meaning of a confluence zone. So a confluence zone is simply an area where two or more points meet with each other. It's a very concrete area that is telling you that buyers or seller are about to push this price higher at this point. When every trader is looking to buy in a specific area, there is liquidity in that area, all right, and that pressure tends to push the market higher. So that was when I jumped in on this trade on US30. On this trade, the same thing with SP500. US30 and SP500, they have the same charts. All right, the chart are the same thing but different price. Okay, so I jump in here on a buy trade. I went in here. I use a daily candle to enter this trade. All right, I make use of a daily candle to enter this trade. My specific time frame that I use for my entry is 4 hours or 1 hour, depending on the trend of the market, depending on what I'm looking at, depending on the risks I'm about to take. So I can use daily, can use 4 hours, and I can use 1 hour, but I majorly use 4 hours for my execution. All right, so I was able to jump in here at the confluence zone here. Then I aim for first profit target at the 100% retracement level. All right, the price always tends to retrace from the 100% retracement level, so you should always be aiming to take out your profit at the 100% retracement level. Then you aim for overall target at the extension level, that is the overall take profit region, right, on the Fibonacci retracement level. All right, so this is how I was able to move a $95 to $461. All right, so this trade made me like how many pips is this? It's like 1,500 pips. So I'm aiming for overall take profit at this place. That's about 2,000 plus pips. All right, so This strategy is a swing trading strategy, all right, and it will take time, to take days, weeks, depending on the trend of the market, for you to hit your first target or your second target. All right, so you have to be patient if you are a swing trader like me. Okay, all right, so yeah, that was how I was able to move this $100, this $95 to $. All right, the other trade I want to share with you guys that is going to do well right now, that is about to drop, is the US oil market. Although I've already done a full prediction on this last year, for those that have been following me since last year, March 2024, I have been selling US oil. All right, I've been shorting this US oil market. You can go watch this video right now on my screen so you understand why I was selling US oil from last year to this year. So the US oil market is pointing towards the downside. This trend is about to start falling again. All right. If you look carefully from my screen, you can clearly see this is a reversal pattern. All right. Head and shoulder pattern, a bearish chart pattern that is formed on a daily time frame. Okay. This is the left shoulder, right shoulder, right? Left shoulder here. You have the right shoulder, and this is a head. Okay. This is a head. All right. So I was able to jump on this trade. The same thing. I was able to jump on this trade at this. So you see, this is a break, a retest on the 50 Fibonacci retracement zone, right? A breakout, a retest on the 50% Fibonacci retracement zone, a continuation, right? Now, before I enter any trade, guys, I need to have like 3 reasons or 2 reasons why I am selling or buying that currency pair. All right, I need to have like 2 reasons, like 3 reasons why I'm about to go into that trade. Even if the trade don't play out, I will know that I follow my plan, I follow my strategy, and if the trade did not go my way, you know that you did what you should have done by following your setup, by following your plan, and not what someone is telling you online. Okay, so you see, this is a breakout, a retest, continuation. Let me use this. This is a breakout, right? A retest on the 50 Fibonacci retracement level, a continuation of this trend, right? A continuation of this trend. So the reason why we have not, this US oil have not dropped yet, is because the market tested the 100% retracement zone. You know, I always told you to take out your profit at the 100% retracement zone. But the reason why I was still holding my position, you know, I jump in somewhere here, at this daily candlestick close. Sorry, just put my stops above. Yeah, so I was saying, I was able to jump in here for a set trade. My stops were above here, and I'm aiming to make about my first profit target is somewhere here. Let me delete this. All right, so this trade is still running, right? It's still running in profit. It's running in profit right now, my first entry. So I'm going to show you why I was still why I'm still holding my position and why I open more position on this US trade. I dropped this signal on my Telegram group. All right, I dropped this signal on my Telegram group, and don't forget to join our community so you don't miss out on free signal that I drop every week. Every week, depending on when the market come to our entry zone. All right, so my entry is here. My first entry is here. We are aiming for this first target at 57.163. All right, so I was able to also jump in also, but the reason why this US oil has refused to drop yet is because of this minor support level, that the market is reacting to. Okay, bring this here. This minor support level here. See this minor support, and this support happens to be the 100%. retracement level. So the market is reacting to this level. That's why the US oil has not dropped yet, but I'm still 80% favoring the downside on the US oil market. I'm favoring the downside on the US oil market because the overall trend condition is bearish. All right, the overall trend condition is bearish. Now, if you let's go on a 4 hours time frame, our entry time frame. Let's see what's going on. All right, so just use my 55 Fibonacci retracement. Delete this gap. Oh, jeez, man. Now I delete this 4 hours Fibonacci retracement. Now you see what's going on here, guys. You can see this trend is trading at the 4 hours Fibonacci, the 50 and the 61% Fibonacci retracement level, right? You see the trend is trading below this area. It's trading below this 50 and 61% Fibonacci retracement zone. So I'm still holding my position, although I have adjusted my stops. All right, my stop loss is I think is somewhere is 64.75. It's at 64.75. I will tell you why I adjusted my stop loss. Why I adjusted my stop loss to secure my first entry that was somewhere here. All right, my first entry was somewhere here. All right, so I move my stops to break even above here to 64.75. All right, so we also be adding more position if you are able to sustain below this level. If you're able to sustain below this level, I'm also going to be adding more position to this US oil trade, okay? Because this level is the 4 hours Fibonacci retracement zone. All right, so this area is a confluence zone. So the way I'm going to jump in, I want to see if I will jump in again. I want to see if I see a 4 hours close of a Gulf candlestick somewhere here. The 4 hours, let me change this. Very. Damn, what's wrong with you? Alright, so if we see another 4 hours strong Gulf candlestick close or any candlestick patterns here, we might go short. Just put our stop above here again. Alright, then we aim for first profit target at this level, then second target is at this level, right? 57.163. okay, so that is what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking at if I will add more position on this trade again. But if we go on 1 hour time frame, let me show you why I open more position again. So the trend was selling here last week. All right, there was a retracement. It break out of this 1 hour consolidation, right? So for those of you that was sending me your screenshots that the US oil is about to start buying, you were right. All right, but the overall trend is still pointing towards the downside. That was why I was still holding my position. All right, I'm a swing trader. All right, I love to catch big move of the market. I love to aim for bigger trend. All right, that's how you grow a small account. All right, so for those of you that was sending me your screenshot of your analysis, you are right. So the trade was reacting to this level, this minus support level. All right, you see this bullish trend, but for me, I am bearish on the US oil market. The overall condition is pointing towards the downside. That's why I still holding my position. All right, so I was able to also add another position at a breakout of this trend line. All right, so if you see this break, all right, breakout, a retest, continuation of this trend. All right, continuation of this trend. So I think jumping somewhere here. My stop was above, that is 64.75. Stop was here. We are currently in losses on the US oil market. All right, we are in losses currently. We are in losses currently. My overall target is right here. My first profit target will be right here. This then overall target is here, $53. All right, this institutional support level of $53. That's what we are aiming for. That is our overall profit target. All right, so we are in losses on the US oil market. We are in losses right now, so I'm still holding on to my position, right? I dropped this signal on my Telegram community, all right, depending on the time you're watching this video. So that's why you need to follow this YouTube channel so you don't miss out on every analysis that I drop. So that the trade don't start playing that before you now start watching the video. So all right, so subscribe guys and share, like and drop a comment. So yeah, that is it for the US oil market. We are currently on the in losses right now. I'm still holding on to my position. I'm still holding on to my position because I know this trend is going to drop. It's going to drop hardly. All right, this trend is going to drop hardly. Okay, but if you are able to retrace, if you still retraced, if we retrace back into this area, all right, and I see a close of 4 hours engulfing candlestick at this confluence area, I will still be opening more position. All right, I'll still be opening more position. All right, that is it for the US oil market. The overall trend is bearish, so we are still holding on to our position. Let's go down. What's wrong with my network? So the overall direction is still pointing towards the downside. All right, we are coming down to this line here, this green line here. The 3 reasons why I was selling this US oil market and why I'm still holding onto my position. The first reason, as you all know, this reversal pattern that is formed on daily time frame, this head and shoulder pattern, right, left, all right, this left shoulder, okay, this right shoulder, then this head. This is the head, all right, that is the head and shoulder pattern. The other reason why I'm still favoring the downside on this US oil market is this third touch of a trend line. Okay, this third touch of a trend line. Let me delete this. All right, this is the first touch here. Okay, second touch. So we have the third touch. So according to the principle of a trend line, the third touch of a trend line always tends to send that market to the moon, right? The third touch of a trend line always tends to send that market to the moon. So that's why I'm still holding on to my position. And thirdly, the third reason is this Fibonacci retracement that we talked about earlier. This Fibonacci retracement. All right, this 50% Fibonacci retracement area. Okay, so the other reason, the fourth reason why I'm still favoring the downside is the breakout of this daily trend line. All right, using trend line principle. All right, this is a break, this is a breakout, a retest, right, continuation. All right, so if you use a trend line basic principle, break and retest of a trend line, so that's why I'm still holding on to my position. So if the trade does not play out, we take our losses and find another trading opportunity. Okay, so but for now, I'm 80% favoring the downside on the US oil market. Okay, I'm 80% favoring the downside on the US oil market. Once we clear out this black and yellow bar, then US oil is gone. This is the next level for the US oil. Green bar and this blue and yellow bar, this institutional support level. That will be the next overall target for the US oil market. So if you have been following me since last year, you know I have been selling the US oil market right from when the price was still buying at $80. So I'll be consistently calling the drop of the US oil market right from 2024, right from 2024 when US oil was still buying at $80. So you can go check out my last year prediction on the US oil market. It's still very much valid this year. Okay, it's still very much valid this year. So if you wonder, let me show you on the weekly time frame why I call for the drop of the US oil market since last year. All right, so this was the same pattern that was formed on US oil last year. All right, this is the left shoulder. All right, the right shoulder. Okay, then the head. All right, so we will jump in on this US oil market somewhere around this trend line. We jump in at the third touch of this trend line last year. All right, we jump in at the third touch of this trend line on our entry time frame, on 4 hours time frame. So you can go check out my previous video, my first episode on this channel, my very first episode. Maybe YouTube algorithm we show you the video on my screen. All right, so the US oil market has been selling since then. All right, so if you look carefully also, the market is also respecting this weekly trend line. All right, market is also respecting this weekly trend line. Let me draw it a little bit. Let me delete this so my chart don't get messy. Okay, so if you look carefully, the market is also respecting this weekly trend line. All right, so when the market is respecting this weekly trend line, one thing it's telling you is I am still not ready to go to the upside. I am still trading below this trend line. That's what the US oil market is telling you. Okay, but once we test this institutional level, I'm taking out my profit. If I start seeing some massive candlestick rejection at this level, all right, that level is it's a very let's zoom out. Let's see which level is that. That level is a strong, all right, this level here is a strong support level that should take note of. All right, so you can see this trend still respecting this level. Now look at how the trend came back to test this trend line again. Look at this massive engulfing candlestick close on this weekly time frame. All right, see this massive engulfing candlestick close. That's very massive, so you don't want to play around that kind of candlestick. Okay, so we are still bearish on the US oil market, and head and shoulder pattern on weekly time frame, same head and shoulder pattern on daily time frame, same head and shoulder pattern on daily time frame, right? And the same head and inner head and shoulder pattern was also formed right here. Let me show you. All right, this left shoulder. All right, this is another right shoulder here. Okay, this is a head. All right, this is the head. All right, so left shoulder, right shoulder, head. So it's just forming different pattern. So this is the reason why I'm still holding on to my position. So I've showed you my entry, I've showed you my exit. All right, now let's move to, let me also show you something on the US 30 market that we just talked about before we go to GDP, JPY, before we go to the British pounds, the Bitcoin, and the Nasdaq. Okay, let me show you something that might, any of these trades that played out, we can jump in. All right, this trade is already gone. I'm already on this trade. I'm on this trade. I dropped this signal on my private group. All right, drop this signal on my private group. Let me just delete that. Let's go to 4 hours time frame. This trade is already gone. US 30 is already gone. US 30 and SP 500 is already gone. But I think let me see. I'm gonna draw this trend line, not trend line. This trade is already gone, guys. It's already gone, guys. Let's go. I think something I'm not drawing. Let me draw this extension level here. From swing high to swing low. Swing high to swing low. The next level right here is 47,000. a round up number of 47,000. That is the next level for US30. 47,000 extension level. 47,000 extension level. That's the next profit target for SP500. I mean for US30. 47,000. Okay, 47,000. So you are hearing that here first. 47,000 for SP500, but overall target is 55,000. This 55,000, I've already done analysis on that. This is the monthly or the weekly. Okay, is the monthly Fibonacci extension level, right? Monthly Fibonacci extension level. You can go watch my previous video analysis. I did break down on this. All right, don't want to bore you with this again. So you can go watch out. You can go watch my previous analysis on that. All right, now let's look at which other currency pair. Let's look at USDCHF. I'm already on this trade, guys. I'm already on this trade. All right, guys, so on the USDCHF, you can clearly see this is a bearish trend, right? You see this triple top that is formed on this weekly time frame. So basically how I trade is I go on monthly, weekly on this higher time frame or daily time frame, monthly, weekly, and daily time frame to identify the kind of trend that is formed on that higher time frame. Then I will start looking for a trading opportunity on lower time frame to trade towards that direction on the monthly or on the weekly time frame. So that is how I basically trade. I identify a chart pattern, then I look for entry on lower time frame, trading the direction of where that pattern is going, whether bullish or bearish chart pattern. So on this weekly time frame, you see this USDCHF. This is a bearish chart pattern. All right, triple top. It's a bearish chart pattern, right? So you see this trend broke out of this neckline. Actually, my first entry here was at the retest of this neckline. Now let's go daily on daily time frame. I dropped this signal. I think inside last month. So I was able to jump in again on this. I dropped this signal on my private Telegram channel, right? I dropped this signal on my private Telegram channel. I also dropped signal on my public group chat, but unlimited signal is on my private Telegram channel. So you can click the link and in my Telegram group and be part of the private group. All right. So I was able to jump in on this trade on my entry time frame 4 hours. Let me show you how I jump in. Just the same principle, doing the same thing over and over again. Okay, doing the same thing over and over again. All right, at a close breakout of this trend line, that was my first entry. So once I saw what was going on this weekly time frame, what I did was to look for entry at this neckline. All right, so this strategy that I'm sharing with you, they are my entry and exit strategy. Okay, they are my entry and my exit strategy. So it's what I've been using for the past 5 years. Okay, for the past 5 years. Okay, so what I simply did was to find entry at a retracement into inside of this supply region. Why is this thing red? Are you crazy, bro? Let me change the color. Okay, reduce the opacity. So right, so my first entry was all right at a retest inside of this supply area. So I aim for first target, overall target was somewhere here. Aim for my first profit target somewhere here. All right, first profit target was somewhere here. I was able to jump in again at a breakout of this other inner trend line, right? Other inner trend line. So if you can plot this level, we actually are the third touch of this trend line, right? All right, this was the first touch. First touch was here. It was the first touch here. This is a second touch, right? This is a third touch. I dropped this signal also on my public Telegram channel, right? I dropped this signal on my community, all right, on my Telegram community. So that was how I was able to, flip my $95 to just trading this trend line and chart patterns, retracement level. But my overall target on this trade is at this trend line, right? It's at this trend at 0.76545, 0.76545. All right, my overall target is at this level. So we might see some crazy move since the the DXY is in a bearish move. So USDJPY is going to be selling, and every USD pair, GDP, Euro, they are going to be buying. Okay, as this one is selling, DXY is selling. But if DXY is selling, USD, British pounds, the Euro market, everything will be buying. All right. So that's how I was able to flip down my $100, down my $95 into 400 or something dollar, following this basic principle of price action. So the same basic principle was also applied here on my second entry on this USDCHF. So you can see I'm doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. So it's not, for you to be a profitable trader, you don't need too many strategy. You don't need to confuse yourself with so many different trading systems. Just pick one trading system that suits your trading style and be consistent with it. There is no trading strategy that is 100% perfect. All right, so you just have to adopt the trading style that you like and stick with that trading edge. So this is the same basic principle that I use. All right, just trend line strategy, supply and demand, chart patterns, this simple price action trading strategy. These are what I've been using for the past 5 years, and they always tends to play out over and over and over and over again. All right, so yeah, this trade I drop it on my private group. This trade is currently running in profit. We have hit our first profit target. All right, I have moved my stops to break even on this trade. Is about 81 pips. Our overall target right here is 300 pips on this trade. All right, 300 pips on this trade. But our stops as we move to break even on this trade, we are currently on this trade. Okay, so you see the first entry is the same thing with the second entry. So I use this same strategy to find entry in my first entry. The same principle was also applied here. All right, so it's not something that is complicated. So you can see this is basic law of price action. You are not seeing any indicator on my screen, right? You are not seeing any indicator. This is a pure price action analysis. So everything I show you here now are basic principle that you can also apply on your trading career, so that you can go and backtest them, right? You can go and backtest them. All right, so yeah, whatever you learn, whatever they teach you, whatever you watch online, make sure you also apply them, backtest them to see if they are working. All right, so this is how I was able to jump in on my second entry on this USDCHF. All right, yeah, for the USDCHF trade is already gone. We're already on this trade, so we just allow the trade to play out. Overall target is 7.6545. Second target is right here at 7.9202. Right, that's my second target. Now let's look at Bitcoin. Right, let's look at Bitcoin before we look at GDP, and I will show you why we got stop out on GDP and how we can also find entry on GDP. All right, so now let's first of all look at the Bitcoin market. Okay, let's look at the Bitcoin market. Let's go on a weekly time frame. The Bitcoin market, I got stop out at a break even on this Bitcoin trade. Right, I also drop. I will show you how I jump in on this trade, although For those of you that has been following me, I shared this setup on my Telegram channel while I was buying. I shared this setup on my Telegram channel. So Bitcoin market, as you know, for those that have been following me since last year, we have been buying Bitcoin. We bought Bitcoin at 27,000. We held that trade for like 6 months to take card profit at overall target of 47,000. All right, you can go watch my first episode. I documented that analysis on my YouTube channel, or you can YouTube algorithm can just show you the video on my screen on why I was buying Bitcoin and why I think Bitcoin will hit 100k plus. So I consistently call for Bitcoin 100,000. I did not just call for it. I showed you my entry, my exit, and what to expect. So right now, Bitcoin overall profit target is 150,000, but I got stopped out on break even. All right, I'm out of the Bitcoin trade and I got stopped out of break even. Okay, so but I want to share with you why I was buying. So now, if you look carefully on this weekly time frame, all right, you can see this is a retest right here. All right, this is like a breakout of this weekly resistance. All right, this is a retest, so you might see a continuation of Bitcoin. Okay, you might see a continuation of this Bitcoin tree. But meanwhile, let's use this fair retracement from swing high to swing low. Let me adjust this weekly level, right? So you see Bitcoin, the push, this is the first impulse move, the correction into the 55 retracement zone, a continuation of this trend. You know, I told you guys in this type of trend, this is where the Fibonacci retracement technical to work very well. All right, now you see this first impulse move, there was a correction into the 55 retracement area. This is where BTC continued this move, and we are heading into this take profit level, this weekly extension level of 145,000 or 150,000 overall. Just put it at a random number of overall 150,000 USD. Okay, so but I was able to jump in on BTC. Let's go to our entry time frame. All right, so on the Bitcoin trade, we are able to jump in at the breakout of this trend line, right? Jump in at the breakout of this trend line. Let me hide. All right, I shared this setup on my Telegram channel and I also dropped this signal there. All right, we're able to jump in somewhere here at the I think I went long inside of here. And I'll put my stop somewhere here below this level. Then we aim for first profit targets. Our first profit target was triggered somewhere here. Then our second target is this level. Okay, so our first profit target was triggered, right? I moved my stops to break even, but I will stop out at the break even on this trade. So we might look for another trading opportunity, but I'm not really interested in Bitcoin anymore right now because I'm already on the trade of USOIL and USDCHF. So those two trades is the trade I am currently holding. All right, I got stopped out on a break even on BTC. So the other trade I want us to look at, then USOIL is already falling. Let's look at GBPUSD. I want to show you guys where we got stopped out on this trade. All right. Now the British pounds has been in a bullish move because of the DXY. DXY is still falling, DXY is still selling. You might see I've already done analysis on that. The USD index is falling. I've already done analysis on USD, so you can go watch the video. All right, so that is why British pounds is buying and euro is buying. Okay, so you see this reversal pattern that is from here, this head and shoulder pattern here, this inverse head and shoulder pattern. Okay, so this level, I got stop out on this trade before this trade start moving in my favor. So I want to show you guys what really transpired with this USD JPY. I mean with this British pounds, and how we are also going to find another entry on this trade. So yeah, I was buying somewhere here inside of here on this trade. I was buying here. Why was I buying here? Now, the reason why we got stopped out on this trade was not because our analysis was not right, all right, but you know, we got stopped out on this trade before this trade started moving in our favor. I think we were buying somewhere here, then our stop loss was just below this previous low, right? Just below this previous low. So we are aiming for first profit target here. Now look at what happened, guys. We got stopped out on this trade before this trade start moving in our favor. This is the most painful thing that can happen to any trader. This is the most painful thing that can happen to any trader, for a trade to take you out before going in your favor. So when I saw what happened here, I just left this trade. I just left this trade. This trade gave me a crazy down drop. Crazy down drop, bro. GDP stopped me out before it started. So this stop loss run usually happen during news trading, during NFP. All right, see this massive candlestick. This is the candlestick that got stop out during NFP. But we still have more trading opportunity. All right, there's still much trading opportunity. We are still going to look for entry, and we still have about 500 pips to make on this British pounds. All right, we still have about 500 pips to the upside. The way we also look for an entry on this trade. Draw this level here. We need to plot connect this level to this level. All right, you can get multiple touch. So British pounds is reacting to this trend line. Okay. All right, so this trend line is what is holding this market. So yeah, now the next level for British pounds is this level right here, this line right here, that green line right there. Let's go to 4 hours time frame. Let's see if we can look for another entry on this British pounds. The only trade I am on right now is the USOIL and the USDJPY. So you don't really have to trade every currency pair that I did analysis on, guys. So just pick one pair that you are sure of the setup and trade that currency pair. Okay, so that's why I'm still holding on to my USOIL and my USDJPY. Those are the 2 trades I am on right now, because we got stop out at a break even on the Bitcoin trade. Okay, so the next level for GDP is this level. So the way we might see some correction here. All right, we see some correction here, so we wait for a retracement here before we look for another opportunity to find a buy trade. So just wait for a pushback into this area, into this neckline, to be looking for an entry for the British pounds. All right, the next level right here on British pound is 1.42. That is about 500 pips. Let's measure it from here. It's about 600 pips. 1.42. A rounded number of 1.42, 1.42, or 1.41. All right, this institutional level. Right, that is it for the British pounds. Let's check the Nasdaq market. the Nasdaq market, the SP 500, the US 30, all these trends, they are going towards the same direction. But I saw something that I like on the Nasdaq that I'm looking at to trade. So you see this massive bullish trend on the Nasdaq, right? See, this is a basic law of a trading market: higher highs, lower highs, higher high, lower highs, right? So this is the first higher high, all right? This is the lower high, all right? Continuation of this trend, right? So this is the basic principle, and this is the basic principle of a trading market: higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. So Nasdaq is trending, guys, but we can plot trend line at this level. Multiple touch. We got multiple touch, right? And just plot here, so we get multiple touch on the Nasdaq. So you see how bullish this trend is. And let's go on the weekly time frame. Before we go on the weekly time frame, multiple rejection on this line, right? First touch, push to the upside, same thing happen, connect, same thing here. All right, so the market came back to respect here, right? See this hammer candlestick on the monthly time frame. Then you don't want to play with that. This hammer candlestick pattern on a monthly time frame. So the bulls on the Nasdaq market are more powerful than the bears. All right. So that's what this hammer candlestick is telling you. But let's go on a weekly time frame. Let's see if we can spot weekly time frame. We can draw this level. There's a level here I want us to draw. Let me change this color. Change this color to green. Let's reduce the opacity to 30 or 29. All right. Now, there are so many things that play out here. There are so many confluences that play out here on the Nasdaq market. Okay. I look at this chart recently, and we should have looked for an entry inside of this confluence area here. All right, inside of this confluence area. But this is like a break and retest. It's like a support and atom this a resistance and atom support, right? It's a break, retest, continuation, right? And this is a resistance here, resistance, then atom support here, okay? Resistance here, then atom support. And if you make use of the Feb retracement on this previous high to this previous low, you see there are so many confluences here, right? There are so many confluences here that signal possible bullish move to the upside on the Nasdaq market. So we might see a $30,000 per the price of the Nasdaq. For those who don't know, Nasdaq is a US tech companies. It's a combination of all the US tech company, all the big tech company in America. It's a combination of the tech companies in America. So the Nasdaq is doing well. All the tech company, when you talk about Microsoft, when you talk about Tesla, when you talk about all these tech company, big tech company in America, they are doing greatly well. So that's what the Nasdaq represents. Okay, so you might see a new all-time high for Nasdaq about 30,000. This extension level of 30,000. I like to put it on a round-up number, 30,000 to 3. That's the next profit target on the Nasdaq market. Okay, and let's plot this 100% extension level. That's where the market retraces from. Okay, at the 100% retracement region, right? This level. So we have broken it. We have broken the 100% retracement level. So the next level for Nasdaq is $30,000. So you are hearing that here first. The next level for the Nasdaq market is $30,000. Is $30,000, this extension level. When the market gets to this take profit level, take out your profit, guys. Take out your profit, guys, because you might see some crazy drop on the Nasdaq market. Okay. The same thing with SP 500. I've already given a prediction on SP 500 and US 30. You can go watch that video. I don't want to bore you with so many analysis. Okay. Now let's see how we can jump in on this Nasdaq trade. Let's go on the daily time frame. Daily time frame. Let me delete this Fibonacci retracement. Daily time frame. Then Nasdaq. See a trend, respecting this trend line. It's respecting this trend line, bro. This trend line is respecting this trend line. This trend is respecting this trend line, right? Let me delete this, and this is like a head and shoulder pattern right here. All right, left shoulder. All right, this is a left shoulder here. Left shoulder. The right shoulder here. Okay, so this is like the head. Those head and shoulder, simple price action, head and shoulder pattern. But let's see if this trend can retrace back into this neckline. Let me draw. Neckline is somewhere here. See if we can push back into this neckline. See if we can retest back here. All right, it's a breakout of a neckline. Let's see if we can retest. Might be looking to find an entry. All right, somewhere here at this trend line. All right, looking to find a buy trade at this level. Okay, that is it for the Nasdaq market. Let's see if we can retrace inside of here. Then we'll be looking for the buy trade on the Nasdaq market. All right, so yeah, that is it. That is all I have for you today, guys. And don't forget, guys, to subscribe to the channel. Let's grow this channel together. Don't forget to like, drop a comment at the comment section, guys. I want to know what you think about this trade that I just did analysis on. I want to know which of this currency pair you are going to be trading. And don't forget to subscribe, guys. Like,